Um, Really quick about us. We do have an EFAX solution. We also are, it's going to be three things in one. So we'll show you it. We will focus on EFAX. Um, but we have been building things just for post-acute healthcare that we've been running here in California for several years. And then PCC asked to partner with us so that they could be available nationwide. So the one the app we're gonna focus on today that you guys reached out about is ScanToPCC. We have two other applications, Triple Check and UAP, that PCC asked to use of ours. And so we're really excited to see how this is really benefiting facilities all over, just like yours. Save a lot of time and bring everything together. It was built by our team connecting with clinical teams and just asking. We had an initiative to give 30 minutes back to MedRec, DON, to clinical teams. We wanted to effectively give 30 minutes back to everybody to provide better resident care. So this was built by those teams and they continue to make it better. We just had an update come out January 1st. You'll get to see all those great features. So Colin's going to walk you through it and show you how you could use this for your EFACs, but also show you it as a whole. Are you currently scanning in your documents also into PCC?
Yes.
Okay, so you're doing it the standard 10-step process in PCC?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Maybe more.
It's a very laborious, repetitious process. So he's actually going to show you how it affects that as well. So go ahead, Colin. We can see your screen.
Okay, great. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, as Kim mentioned, or maybe she did, I'm sorry, I wasn't totally paying attention, but if you guys have questions while we're going, do not feel bad about interrupting me. I talk all day, so it's the only way you're going to get my attention. So just interrupt or wave your hand. I'm watching, I can see you, and so we'll go through this. But yeah, we spent a lot of time in MedRec. I personally did for a long time, been in nursing homes forever, long time. And the solution for getting the document into PCC, I always tell everybody it's not bad if you're doing one or two, but if you're doing a lot, it's super, super slow, whether you're EFAX or scan or whatever. It's like these steps that just are kind of meaningless that take forever. So we created a way to get both of those and drag and drop them into there much faster as well. I'll show you all of the pieces. Our EFAX is a little different. Just high level what we do with EFAX. So like I said, I've been in nursing homes and I was a CIO for a large company for a long time. And one of the things that really got to me was, if you're with a vendor today, let's say EFAX vendor A, and we get all these phone numbers and everything's great, and then we decide we want to change for whatever reason, you can switch them, but it just was sometimes kind of a pain to move those around. So what we did is we built a system that doesn't matter which EFAX vendor you use. They don't have to be a healthcare specific one. As long as they're HIPAA compliant and have the APIs that we need, we'll make it work within our system. I'll show you how it works. I'll show you the systems, the integration with the EFAX. You can pick any vendor you want for EFAX, which is nice because there's only one or two that actually have a PCC integration. So now with our tool, they all do. You can pick whatever one you want, and there's no charge for that integration in our app whatsoever. So I'm going to start with the scanning part, then we'll talk about EFAX, and I'll show you the rest of it. But a little bit about the app. It's web-based. It works just like PCC. It's locked down to your facilities, IP addresses, all the same security, all the things they hold us to. It does have remote access if you need it. On a per user level. Ours requires two-form authentication, just like PCC's pushing now. Ours has always done that. But it's something usually you don't give out unless you're at the corporate office where you guys said you were. But most of the facilities, they'll log in. As long as they're in the building, it works fantastic. It is web app, so you don't install anything. It's connected to PCC, so all of your residents, all of your document categories, everything we need to know is in here automatically. I don't have to do anything. When I get an admission and I put them in PCC, within about 60 seconds, they're going to show up in this system. So super, super easy that you do not maintain our system at all. You basically get a document in there, and then you quickly tell it where to go in PCC. 3 ways you get documents in our system. We did talk about EFAX a little bit, and I'll show it to you, and we'll dive into that a little bit more because I know that's your big thing you're doing. All of your scanners too. We can set up all your scanners. So today you're probably, when you have a document in your hand, you probably have it set up to your email or a network share on your computer somewhere. And you put the document in there, right? And then you scan it to your email or whatever, and then you save it and all that fun stuff. We'll help set those up. So instead of it going to your email, it'll come right into here. And then we can push it to PCC as well. So you can have as many scanners as you want in there. I won't steal Kim's thunder, but at the end, she'll talk to you about pricing. It's all one flat rate. You can put it on every single scanner in your office or your facility, all of your buildings. You can have as many users as you want, all of those things. We try and keep it very simple in terms of pricing. So eFax scanner, and then I can drag and drop. As much as I would tell doctors stop emailing me stuff, they would always email me documents, and securely, right? I'm not going to say they weren't secure, but I was trying to get them to fax me stuff. So I can drag and drop documents if I do. So I just drag them up here in this top right corner. They're going to then show up in this dashboard. When I get a fax, when your fax is connected, so someone sends me a fax, it's going to say right here, eFax comes right into our system, no matter which vendor you end up choosing. And I'll give you some really great recommendations for eFax. What's great about it is just based on your usage and your pricing, all of those things will determine which vendors I would suggest to you, but you can use whichever ones you want, and we'll walk through that in a bit. Also, when I scan, it'll say like medical record scanner or business office scanner or however you set them up by name. So all of the documents will be in here. Now, let's say we all work in the same building. Maybe I'm in med rec, Drew, you're in admissions. When you scan something, we set it up so Drew doesn't see what I scan because I don't want him messing with the med rec stuff, and I don't see what he scans. Or maybe I want to because I want to cover for him. So you can set it up to have that security where you can see each other's stuff, or you can only see your own. So it keeps the system very secure in there. And once a document is in here, I just click the document. Okay, so when I click it, this is the actual document here. This is a very simple color one-page document that was scanned in or faxed or whatever. There's 4 things you have to know when you're sending a document to PCC, right? You have to know the resident, no brainer. But I also have to know the effective date, the category, and the document name in PCC, right? So in PCC today, I click the effective date, I click the category, I type a description or document name, and then I submit it. Those 4 things are over here to the right. Here's my effective date. I can pick whatever date I want. By default, it'll always be today. These are all my residents. You'll see last name, comma, first name. The D there is for discharge. You will have an A for your actives, and an N if you're doing pre-admission stuff like your waiting list, anything pre-admission, marketing, CRM, anything like that would be an N status. And then my resident ID. Really quickly, all of our drop downs here are searchable in the whole site. So I'll show you what you can do. I can click it and scroll down, or I just start typing and I can search whatever I want. Like I just searched the first name, it's going to find it. I can search an ID if I want, or last name, whatever, and it'll find that resident for me. Same with my categories. These are all my categories that are in PCC today. If I make a change, they're going to reflect in here automatically. The only difference is the categories take like 2 or 3 minutes to reflect in here. For some reason, there's a slight delay. I think they prioritize census, which makes sense. But these would be all my categories. So I can either start typing or I scroll down and I find one. This is in PCC. You have to manually type this today. This is a new feature we just put in here where you see when I pick my category, it names the document the category. So you could set it up to do that. One of the things, I hate to be the reason for this, but it really was my poor spelling. When I was in MedRec, if you ever tried to search for an influenza document, you would rarely find mine because I never spelled it correctly. I always spelled influenza wrong. Don't even quiz me today. I don't know how to spell it. And I was in MedRec for a while. But what's really nice about this is these categories, when I pick one, can be set up. So if I pick influenza, it's automatically in there and it's going to name it that. So I don't have to type it. It saves me that step, creates some clarity in my documents in PCC so they're all compliant, they're all the same. I know exactly what they look like. You can actually take it a step further. So at a corporate level, if you want to say, hey, anytime you pick, let's say this AVL, I want it to say the resident name, the category name, the effective date, all of that in the description. You can set up templates for each category, and I'll show you, we'll go in there. But it makes it really nice because when you're looking at a chart, they all are going to be named the exact same. A lot of times people would name them different. And I had 2 other med rec in my department. We all named them slightly different. So when you went in there, it was a little bit of a mess. this creates uniformity. You can turn it on or off if you want, but it makes it really nice. So I just go in, pick my resident, I pick my category. I don't even have to pick a name. It does it automatically. And then I hit upload, and that document is on its way into the chart in PCC. Now, real quick, the way our system works, we're going to batch process that. So every 15 seconds, that thing just got pushed out to PCC. Okay, so
I
it'll
think Drew has a
automatically.
question, Colin.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. So when you upload in home or push it out to PCC, what is its landing point?
They
Or
all
are there
go into
more
the,
than one?
they all go into the miscellaneous documents category.
Okay. All right. All right. Just making sure.
Great question. Now, you can set it up to go, in miscellaneous documents based on whatever category type you pick will determine if it's the admin or clinical tab, right? So just be aware of that. It's funny. A lot of people don't know that. So I have to explain, no, there's actually 2 different miscellaneous documents, but you guys are awesome. You're already aware of that. So let me show you kind of real time. I go in here, I'm going to find my document. I pick my resident, I pick my category, and then I hit upload. That's it. That's how fast and long it takes to get a document in PCC. So super, super quick. Now I have 2 buttons there, if you notice. One says upload and homepage. One says upload and next. Let's say I wanted to go through all my documents one at a time. I can hit upload and next, and it's just going to go to the next document in my queue. I usually do upload and homepage for the demos just because starting at the homepage is an easier way to do it. But that's it. That document's on its way to the chart. Now, I picked the easiest one out of the gate, right? A single page going to a single resident. Especially when you hook up your eFax, it doesn't always work that way. When I turn to eFax on mine, I would get a fax from a doctor with all their progress notes, and I have to separate them out, right? Because it's going to 4 different residents. Or I get a new admission and the hospital's going to fax over their chart, and it's 38 billion pages that I got to separate out and make sense of it to put it in the chart. So what you can do in our system, there's this button up here at the top that says split PDF. I can take this 12-page one. You'll see here there's 12, right? And I can just go through. And I'm going to say pages 1 through 3 are going to go to Karina Bailey. That's her ancillary. I'm going to say pages 4 through 6. And what I'm doing is I'm taking this one PDF and I'm separating it out into different categories into PCC. And I can separate it into as many as I want. So what's really great about this is I don't have to do this outside of here. Today, if you get a fax, you got to save the PDF, go into Adobe or whatever you're using, separate those out so they're individual PDFs, and then upload those manually each. And here I don't. I'll just do 4 of them. And I'm going to do pages 10 through 12. And I'll pick, and you see, I can pick the same resident. I could pick a different resident. I can pick whatever I want. When I hit split, it just uploaded 4 documents to PCC from one single PDF. So that split one is a game changer when you're getting faxes. Or, I mean, honestly, I got so fast at the splitter, I would just scan like 30 pages at once and then separate them at my desk because I had to walk down the hall to my copier and there was always a line. It was just a pain. But it's a really great way for you to never have to mess with your PDFs anymore. On average, it's about 1 in every 5 documents coming through our system today are edited with that splitter. So it's a really big tool that everybody uses. About 20% of the documents are being used by that. It's really nice if you're doing, like, I just saw one this morning. I was talking to a customer and they do like a shower log and they put it in everybody's chart. And it's like this 1 pager, right? But it goes to 50 different charts because they write the name and it's all on one thing. So they can go under split and they could do like pages 1 of 1, go here, and they can still do 1 of 1, go to a different resident. So you can put whatever you want in there and it'll push that document to wherever it's going in there. So you don't have to have, only 1 page goes to 1 resident. So you can really get, kind of tricky with your pages in there, making it super, super fast. Any questions so far? Making sense?
No questions.
Okay. So splitting is a big one. The other big one, you guys tell me if this has happened to you, but this was my pet peeve. When I'm in PCC and I'm uploading a PDF, I go, I name it, I do all my stuff, and then I hit upload and it says, hey, Colin, sorry, but your PDF is too large because there's a maximum file size at PCC, right? It's usually about 10 megabytes, somewhere in that range. What'll happen then is I have to go out, I either shrink that PDF down or I make 2 of them out of it. You got to be careful if you're shrinking it. if you're compressing it, you're going to change the quality. Then people can't read it when they go in there. What our system will do is, let's pretend your maximum file size is 10 megabytes and you're uploading a 15 megabyte file. When you hit the green button to upload it, whichever one, it doesn't care how big your file is. It's just going to accept it. When it gets into the chart, it'll look something like this: 1 of 2. And 1 of 2 and 2 of 2 automatically in there will just start showing up. So if you're doing like I said, 15 megabyte file, it'll just do it once. You just have to pick the resident one time, and then it'll send 2 files. We're never going to change the quality of your document, okay? Because there's no use in getting a document into the chart that you can't read because it's so smashed up or whatever, right? So we'll never change the quality. We're going to break that into 2 pieces and then send those to PCC. I'm looking at live stats now on my screen over here. It looks like it's about 10% of the documents so far today have been using that, what we call the compressor or the splitter in there. So a really big time saver there as well, in that automation there.
Yeah, I know that our clinical records folks, when they scan in the hospital records, I see a lot of times it has to be split into 2
Oh,
because
such a
it's
pain.
it's too large.
It sounds silly, but I'm just like, when I was in med rec and doing it, it's like, oh, I got this thing down to 2 minutes, but you do something like that and it now is 10 because I got to split the PDF. And then every one, I multiply that by the 2 minutes or whatever it takes. And it's just a game changer when you don't have to anymore. I have people who are paper charting, believe it or not, they're 100% paper today. And they'll upload an entire chart. Like they'll scan, hundreds of pages, run it through here because they're just trying to get everything in, and it'll split it up. It doesn't care how big it is. So it's a really great way if you're doing, whatever you put in here. So it is a nice thing. I see people now that we have that or they're using it, they scan everything. They're like, oh, I don't know if we need it or not, but just put it in the chart because it's better to have it in there and not need it, right? And no matter how big it is. So now, let's talk about eFax, because that was the main thing you called about, right? And eFax is integrated in here. So like I said, we have a couple vendors that we partner with, but we don't care which ones you use. If you came to me and said, hey, Colin, what do we use for eFax? I would say, how much usage are you doing? Let's talk through that. I'm sure we've done it enough to where we're going to shop for pricing for you. There's a couple vendors out there that are really great, but whoever you use, we'll set this up so you can send and receive from here automatically. Personally, I love, depending on my pricing, I like Docomo if we're not using a lot. If we're, let's say, a couple hundred pages or less a month per building, that's who I would use because they're just very easy and they're cheap. If I want an all you can eat kind of unlimited plan, like the TPX, Ring Central, there's some really good ones out there. But what's nice is it doesn't matter, like they don't have to have the PCC integration. You have that through us, right? And so it's really, really nice way to do it. And I can help you set it all up and do all that. There's no charge for that whatsoever. We help you set it up. Most likely we already have an API connected with whoever you're going to use because we have so many of them. And it's just a turn on for us. But like I said, I'm happy to walk through it with you. You could say, we have this many buildings, we have this many, we want to use this much or whatever. And I can give you some great recommendations, even give you some great, contacts out there because we work with them so much. But what's really neat, let's say this document here, this is a single pager. Let's say I need to fax this out because this would happen all the time. I was sitting at my desk, like the doctor would come by and they'd write their notes. Hey, put this in the chart for resident so-and-so. Hey, can you fax it to my office too before you do that? And I said, yeah, no problem. I go in here, I click eFax. These are my numbers. So I'm going to pick, because I can have multiple numbers if I want. I have a little address book in here. I can add some if I want. I'm just going to put a number in, right? So let's just go, let's do 749. Oh my gosh, I'm backwards today. 20. And I can save a cover page if I want, right? So we can help you set all that up. I'm going to say, Dr. Smith, notes, here are your notes. Then I can either send the eFax and delete it or send it and send to PCC. So I'm going to do that. I actually got to fill this here. Sorry. I think it didn't like me putting it in when the person was already in there. I do my password wrong. All right, guys, our demo, I'm going to go into the live system here. Our demo one does that, I think, because we all share the same account. It kicks people out. So you can send your fax right from there. And then what's really nice is I can, oops, sorry, 1 second here. Let me just reset my demo account real quick.
And when Colin has two-form authentication, because he is a remote user, he's not at a facility. So your users at the facility, since it's locked down to the IP address, it will just be this. They'll be able to log in with their password. But we do offer, if you allow corporate says, hey, this MedRec needs remote access for whatever reason, we do have remote access privileges tied to it with two-form authentication. So that is a great feature. And typically when we see someone that's part of a large corporation that they, cover for each other, cover for their sister facilities. We had someone the other day who their med rec had a family emergency and had to be out. So another med rec actually covered for one of their facilities and was able to do it from her facility, never have to go over to the other one. So there's some really great features when you have all of your sites in here and can work. There's some different ways you can set it up to where facility A can also cover for facility B by switching back and forth, or they can have it all come into one. So and because you guys have a SNF and an ALF at one place, you can have, one person looking at both the SNF and the ALF too. So there's some great customization you can do when you are utilizing it for multiple different sites.
Okay, let me turn that back on. Sorry. Okay. So this will be back in our test one. So here is mine. And then I could put the cover page in and I can do your notes. Here are your notes. And then I can send eFax and send to PCC. So I do that. It just queued up that fax to go out. And then I pick my resident and pick my document and then just hit upload. And I sent a fax and push that document into the chart in PCC. So the integration is really nice. I don't have to push it to PCC. If you saw there was the ability to just send it and delete the document. So you don't have to push it to the chart if you don't want to, right? I could pick my resident and just delete the document after the fax, but I can also push it into the chart if I want. So it's like a one-step thing. The other part that's really nice is when someone sends me a fax, you'll see right here where it says fax, right? And so I have faxes in here and I can just click them and I don't have to scan them or anything. Here it is. Oh, it's from Dr. Smith. I know that goes to Chloe Cameron and it's her ancillary, and boom, that document just went to the chart. So it's really easy to have that eFax integration in there. I love it because I don't have to scan stuff when it comes in. Now you can have as many fax numbers as you want in there. In my building, what we did is we did it like, you don't mess with an admission eFax, right? Because referrals, you don't mess with that one. Leave them alone. You don't have to run it through here. If you decide, hey, we just want that to go to email, fantastic. I would recommend that. And that way MedRec has their own number and you don't mess with that. I do have some customers who say, oh, we all share one. I'm like, oh, you got to get away from that because you don't want to mess with admission eFax ever. But you can set up, so there's a bunch in there. You can see I just got a fax right here. That was the one I sent myself. So it's really easy to do. It'll just refresh on here. Now I'm going to kind of bounce around to show you some of the features, but if you have questions, let me know.
So our situation, just real quick, just to clarify. Yeah. So there are a few different use cases, for this. One is, out on our nursing neighborhoods and those nursing units, we're getting a number of things from labs to physician notes. So, those would be some of the inbound documents, but then we might be sending out a number of things also. Like if we have to send something out, like a referral out to a home health or a hospice agency or something like that. So those, like when I'm thinking about, when you're talking about separating and when you're talking about, like how we're dividing, the material, the documents that are going to be passing through our building, and leaving admissions out of that. I completely get that. But then I guess maybe just your thoughts on what those care bases, like what our copying machines are all in one, right? You know, like what those care-based copying machines, fax machines, scanners look like versus like I think of it, we have one administrative hallway that serves all purposes. You know, it serves our administrative team, but then also we do have some clinical based stuff coming in and out of that as well. What have you seen done, or what's the recommendation as far as setting up a machine like that that's both administrative as well as clinical?
Well, it's your choice. I'll just tell you what I like. At the end of the day, eFax is so darn cheap right now. Like it's super cheap. You know, you can get it like $20 unlimited, $2 if you're using you know, a small thing. I personally would say for MedRec, and I'm just speaking for me, like I would give them their own number and I would have it go through here, and I would just have it say, hey, your fax is this, and that's just for them. And then I would probably leave the one in the hall, or, you know, if you want to get rid of that and use something else, that's great too. But I would try and separate those just so that your MedRec or whoever's using the app wants their own fax. It's just separated from that, because the downside is
Okay.
if you, and I've seen people do this, and I'm always just brutally honest. Like I've seen people say, well, bring all of our faxes into ScanToPCC. And I said, like, I would never do that, because some people aren't going to log into ScanToPCC because it's not an app for them, right? Your CNAs are never going to go in it. I mean, maybe, but most of them don't. And they might be looking for a fax that's coming over, and you don't want to have them wait for someone to go in here and find it. So there's just different ways you can set it up. Now, when you set up your eFax, if that's the case, I have some customers who have one fax number for their entire building, small buildings, and they have it come to our app as well as like an email. Like they'll have a distribution group email or something like that. So you can have it go to 2 destinations, but it just really depends. And I would kind of walk through it, you know, situation by situation, just to make sure. I don't know. It's really tough. Like if you're saying, hey, I want to get rid of that machine in the hallway, it never goes as smooth as you'd like.
Yeah.
You know, that's the hard part. So it's nice to always have that as a backup. And then, like I said, you know, especially for your faxes for MedRec, like I would just put them in here and let them go to town. And, you know, just that way they're not scanning stuff if they don't have to. If you have other users, admissions, you know, whoever, activities wants one, business office, you could just add a second line, you know, and put it in here as well. Stuff like that. So there's a lot of options.
Okay.
I hope that answered. That was a
Yeah,
lot.
no, I think it does. Like in my head, I'm just almost thinking like maybe there would be, say you have a larger building and you have three social workers, you know, maybe there's a social work line that might have that, or or somehow looking at what we'd have to look at what is coming in and out, and then make some decisions as to who shares what, and what makes the most sense, to make sure that we don't miss anything, but also that we're not creating noise for other team members unnecessarily.
Yeah, right. Like you have a giant inbox with 3 million faxes.
Correct.
I got to sort through to find mine.
Okay.
So what's cool about some of these services, and just again, depends on your usage, but like, you know, you can find it cheaper, but let's just say it's $2 a month per number. Like you can just say, okay, activities, here's your number. And if they're not using, like activities is probably not going to use it a ton, but they just have their own, and someone faxes them, it comes into their email. It doesn't go through our system unless you want it to, but okay, no brainer. Then my heavy users, oh, those MedRec, man, they send a tremendous amount. Maybe you have them do slightly different and you separate them out. And you can do that with any vendor you pick, because there's just a configuration we're going to go through, and we'll walk through it with you. Hey, this number goes to ScanToPCC, this one doesn't. This one does both of them. And, you know, we just walk through it with you.
Okay. Okay. That's really nice. It gives a lot of flexibility. But it keeps the interface for the team member the same, but we can configure it different.
Yeah.
On the back end.
It's funny. Everybody always says that. So this is one of 8 apps, and I'm just real fast. It's one of 8 apps we have, and everybody's like, "Why is yours so custom?" And I said, "Well, I worked in a nursing home for 30 years. Like, you can't tell me how to do my business. I need your app to work around the way I do my business." And so it's hard when someone comes in and says, "If you do it this way, our app's going to work perfect." I always say, "No, no, no. This is how we run our nursing home. Make your app work for us." And so everybody's different, and so it's very customizable, very simple, but very customizable.
Yeah.
Okay. EFACS, really simple. Here's your EFACS log. And like I said, I'm going to kind of bounce around up here. Corporate, this would be like your EMC in PCC, your management console. I can see all my buildings. I can see who's using it. I can see the usage, the users, the categories, all of that stuff. I click in one of these and I can really get in the weeds. Shows me, login errors, IP addresses, all that fun stuff. I'm going to come back to DocuSign. I love history. So I'm old school. And in my building, we used to have to write a HIPAA log of every single document we scanned, literally with a pen and paper. And then we put it in our HIPAA journal. And so what's really nice, this log will save everything you've ever scanned. We never delete it. It'll always be in here. Now, the PDF will be gone. So when you push that document to PCC, we remove the PDF from our system. We don't need it. There's no need. Like, it's a pass through. But this transaction log will be here forever. What I love about this is I can search by anything. I can search by myself, like, oh, I uploaded the document. I can put my name in there. I can search by the date if I want. I could do whatever. Let's do, 09, whatever. I can search by the date. I can search by even the note, ancillary. It's going to find it. So no matter if you're using our system or you're doing it the old school way, every once in a while, let's be honest, we put a document in the wrong chart. It just happens. We're going fast. And you got to find it. This is how you find it, because I can look through here and I'm going to see every single thing that was scanned at the time, where it went, which chart, who did it, and everything, and it'll show it in there. Without that, you got to go chart by chart, right, and find that document. So it's a great way to do it. And you can see I have stuff from 2023 in here, so it stays in there forever. You can also export it. So for us old schoolers who still had a HIPAA log, I could export this once a month and put it in my journal and call it a day. Under settings, I won't go through all of these. If you click your password, you're going to change your password, but there's 2 things I like to cover. Training videos. I don't know about your buildings. Mine were high turnover in the company I worked for. And so we were just like, it was just, oh, Colin, can you train? We have a new med rec at building A or B or whatever. Sure. What we do in here is we have some great videos. Obviously, the system is very simple to use. You could just put someone in here, they're going to figure it out. Or you can click this schedule live training, and training's always free. So if you get a new med rec in one of your buildings and you're like, oh, just go through training, they just click training, they pick a day, they pick a time, and you're going to get free training. We're going to get on the phone with them. We're going to get on their computer, show how to use it, make sure they're logged in, and we handle the whole thing, and it's 100% free. So it's just something we do to help really, with our industry being unique and having a little bit more turnover than the average, something we do in there for free. Inside of here, this is that template I was talking to you about. When you pick your category and it names the document, this is where you set those up. So I can go in here and make the system create a template that looks like this every time you click admission lease agreement, or if I want to change it, I could. So it's really flexible. If you have just a couple categories or a lot, you can determine how you want it to do it. We'll help you set it up. A lot of times people would say, I want it to be just like this for all of mine, and we can just help you set it up and do that. But that way you never have someone manually typing influenza and they spell it wrong or whatever. In my case, that was what I would always do. So it really makes it nice, and you can just do it once and then copy it to all of them if you want as well. Under users, Kim will talk to you about pricing in a minute, but you can put as many users as you want in here. So it's click, add them, piece of cake, super easy. There's a couple ways you can do users. You can click the button and add them. We do have single sign-on if you're using it, so it will create them. Or you can pass a payroll. So we accept, we have some companies who just pass us a payroll file once an hour or once a day, something like that, and we create accounts automatically for them. So we have all kinds of automations for setting up your users. And then also under support, this is going to be custom for you guys. So anything you click in here under support, this will be custom for you. So when you, maybe you want your support to be something unique that's just for you, like, hey guys, when you're, needing support, I want you to go to our support team, and here's the phone number, here's the email. Sorry, here we go. Oops. Oh, I just jumped in. My computer is being all sorts of goofy today.
So tell me again about single sign-on. How does that work with PCC?
Are you guys using single sign-on today?
The answer is yes, right, Drew?
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's multiple ways you can make single sign-on work. Are you doing the PCC one, or are you using a third party like an Okta or something like that?
Just direct PCC.
Okay. So there's a couple ways you can do it.
Oh, wait. You're not, are you talking about single sign-on from our network login?
Correct.
No, then we are not using single sign-on.
You're doing two-form.
Right. And then
Okay.
for remote people, we use multi-factor as well.
Gotcha. Single sign-on would be, hey, I have one password for my email, my PCC, and everything. It's all the same.
Mm.
It is a very heavy lift to install. Most of our customers are not there yet. They're getting there. Over the next couple of years, that'll be a big thing. But
Okay.
what's really nice is when you get there, it just automatically works with our system. So
Okay.
when you get there and PCC is getting better, it's honestly not worth it in this day and right now, because PCC is just not there yet. They're getting there, a couple months, end of the year, somewhere around there. Then I would recommend it. Otherwise, Drew, you're in IT, I'm assuming.
Yeah, we probably won't ever allow single sign-on.
Good. It's a neat feature, but it's not a requirement. It really isn't that. So, I have a lot of customers who don't use it. The ones that do really use it for more like, hey, I made an account in email and I wanted to make the PCC and the ScanTo account, so they don't have to manually do it. Other than that, it's more of like a bell and whistle. But just kind of.
So what would our team members, they would have to go into this app, log in separately, correct?
Yeah, they just go in and hit the
Okay.
plus and they just fill that out right there. Or, like I said, the other thing that some of our customers do is, like a lot of them using Kronos, ADP, whatever for their payroll, they'll just push us a file of the job codes that they want. Like they'll just make a report. These job codes should get scanned to PCC, and then it just sends us that data every hour, every day, whatever. And then we'll create accounts automatically based on that. So we have a full system called a UAP, which creates accounts. And so we can use that as well. And I can send you a tech document on that one if you want to do something. Truthfully, I'd say about 80% of our users just go in and hit plus, and they just do it. It's really quick, and they do it that way. Okay, two last things I want to show you real fast. I'm kind of bouncing around here. So we are scanning into PCC, right? That's our big thing. We also have it so you can scan into your payroll software. So like in my building, my office had a ton of paper until we had this. And then my payroll had a ton of paper until we had this. So you can go in here and you can scan to your Kronos, ADP, UKG. Those are the three we have today. We're working on a bunch more. But you go in here and these are employees and categories. And when I hit this, it's going to actually upload that document into my Kronos. So I can use, my payroll team could actually use this as well. So if you're doing like nurse certifications, onboard documentation, all that stuff, and you're trying to get it into your payroll system, that's just an add-on in there as well. The last one we have is the DocuSign integration. Are you guys using DocuSign or Document Manager or one of those two?
Document Manager.
Cool. Fantastic app. Believe it or not, we actually helped them make that. I think it was like 9 years ago, we helped them do it. It's a great app. It's a little clunky. It's a little, once you get it going, it's fantastic, but it's very clunky and, because it's doing a lot. I have some customers who are like, hey, we use DocuSign. You can do the same thing in here. I can go in, I can pick my resident, pick my category. I'm sorry, these are my documents. I have an admission agreement. I want to do it for Chloe, and I hit create. It'll use DocuSign to fill the agreement out, send it out for signatures, and then it comes right back in for signature or for uploading the PCC. So something you can use if you want. We don't charge for any of those things. It's just an add-on in there. A lot of our customers use Document Manager for admission agreements and that kind of stuff. but they might use DocuSign for something else. So if
I
you're
was
like,
just,
hey,
yeah, I was just gonna say DocuSign might be like a pre-admission actually, and then document manager after admission.
yeah,
We used to
however you want
use
to do it.
we used to use DocuSign, the social workers specifically, and then all of a sudden they decided they didn't like it and they stopped using it. So
Okay. Yeah. If
yeah,
you, well, if
I
you
don't know. I
ever,
mean, that might be something that could be revisited because they all had tablets and everything with stylus, and they just stopped using it. I mean, that's at least here in, at our location. I'm not sure about up in Oakmont or any of the other sites, but here in Washington, that's kind of what happened. And then they just, but anyway, we used to have it.
I think we have
oh,
both, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's what a lot of businesses, a lot of our customers do that. They're doing order or whatever they're using it, and totally you can use it. It's just in there. We'll turn it on for you. I'll show you how to use it. Very simple, no charge for it. But it's a really cool thing because I hit create, it signs the document, and then I'll go in here and it'll say like DocuSign, and the document will be sitting here, and I can push it into the chart. So really, really easy. The downside with DocuSign today, you have to manually put that document in the chart in PCC. So with our app, you don't have to. So I threw a lot of stuff at you and I bounced around all over the place to really make it even more confusing. But any questions on the app or anything you maybe want to see or anything like that?
No, I think you answered the questions. I guess what I wasn't clear on, like from the point click care marketplace, was exactly if we would be able, if you actually provided like the numbers for eFax, or the actual service. But this is nice in that we can shop around for a service that would suit our needs, and then connect them into PCC so they don't
Yes.
have to be integrated, which
So we
allows us
can,
some flexibility from a price point perspective.
that's the main reason. So if you were to say, hey, Colin, I want 10 fax numbers, we do have an account with Docomo and we're going to just give you the pricing we get. It's $2 a number. And like, I think it's a penny a page. Great, have it. They'll just put the invoice and it'll come to you. We have probably, let me see, 326 buildings using our Docomo account. Totally fine. The reason I would just say is you can use anything you want. If you're like, hey, I just want to try this thing for a couple months, put a number in there. That's what I'm going to do. Right. So you can try it and use it. And when you're doing your testing, you can have that number. Some of our customers just don't want to deal with the fax thing. Okay, we're happy to set it up for you. We don't make any money on it, but we're just happy to do it for you. That's the company we use. If you're doing a lot of faxes, if it's at a penny a page, it's at some point, it's going to be more expensive based on that. If you're doing high volume, then I'm going to look at a RingCentral or a TPX. Those are the two big ones that I like, but there's a couple others. The main reason I like them, if I'm being brutally honest, is because when you change companies, some play nicely, some don't. And when you want to take that phone number from vendor A to vendor B, you technically are supposed to be able to, but some people just make it very hard. And I've gone through it, and the ones that make it hard, I just don't want to work with because it's not fun. And so I never want to lose that number. If you ever try and get a hospital to learn a new number for you, they never do, and it's a pain, and you end up losing business. So, yeah, you definitely can. Like I said, you can use our Docomo. You're more than welcome to. $2 a number, 1 cent a page. You can use that. It's going to be your own account, but you get our pricing, or you can use whatever ones you want, and so.
Well,
You can
real
also,
quick. Oh, go ahead, Colin.
nope, you go right ahead.
The setup is extremely easy because this is web-based. We just work with Drew to get that shortcut placed on all of your devices. It does take PCC 3 business days to connect with us and process this application from their marketplace. And then your facilities are running with it and can start using it. We train them all, and then they just jump on and start using it immediately. So it's a very quick process. It does not affect anyone's day-to-day operations. Everything's done in the background and is very quick and easy to get connected.
Would we have an admin account that creates our users, or is that just something that anyone can do?
So there's 3 kinds of users. We keep it super simple. There's 3 kinds. You have a normal user, and they're just going to see these 3 things here. I can change my password in my video. You also have an admin user. They're going to see all of these, and the main one is they can add users. The third one is your corporate. So under corporate, I can go in and make a user for any building I have access to. What I recommend is if you're going to do the management of the users at like a corporate level, I wouldn't have any admin users. I would just have corporate and normal. That's what most of our customers do. If you want the buildings themselves to be able to manage their own users, then you have your normal users and your admin users. So you can
Okay.
set them up that way. Super easy.
Is this something that would be a solution for your facilities?
I can definitely see it. I think we'd have to kind of talk out some of the volume, how we would divide it kind of things. But definitely, what I like about it is the ease. It's so easy. You know, like
Yeah.
we don't need a ton of bells and whistles. We just need to get the documents in, and the interface is so easy. And I love that it matches the drop downs that are available in Point Click Care. So then there's no question about what is happening, and everything's
Yeah.
going to match up easily. I do like that, you know, like that we, you know, we could just go with Documo, or it could go with any eFax. I do think that it, you know, it is meeting the need. I think what we need to do on our side is a little bit of research and understanding about who needs what from a, you know, a fax and a fax perspective, and what kind of documents are coming through, and how often are they coming through, and how, like, what's the volume of that?
Right. And that can be different in every building.
Correct.
For
Right.
sure.
Right.
Definitely. Definitely.
What we typically do is we roll it out in one facility, maybe your largest one, one of your campuses, so you can get a feel of how it went and who needs what, so you can actually see it in action and understand the different departments. So we can do that. It's all up to really, you know, if Drew wants to do it all at one time, or if he wants to do it one at a time. And so typically we have one as a concept, you understand it, see how the team did it, and then, you know, 30 days later, roll everyone out. It's what we typically see.
I'm all for that. I think it's always good to kind of dip your toe in the water first and work out any kinks
Exactly.
before you do a network-wide rollout.
Yeah, exactly. Well, with pricing, because you guys are 8 or 9 facilities, it drops you down to $129 a month. It's just a flat rate, and it's everything. So it's $129 a month per site, and it's unlimited everything.
Okay.
So when you do, if you do decide to do the test site to roll it out for those 30 days, we can do it for free as we're working through everything and seeing everything. So you can have a proof of concept for those 30 days.
That's great.
Yeah, that's nice too. Okay. We have some more things to work through and people to talk to. Who would I reach out? Would we reach out to Colin or Kim? Which,
You can reach out to me. I
okay.
would be your direct connection, and
Okay.
so feel free to reach out. I'm going to email you when we jump off. I'll forward you the video, and then I'll kind of recap some of the things we talked about. You will have my direct line on there. I will be your rep. So feel free to call me, email me
Okay.
if you wanted to bring a med rec on here from that facility
Yeah.
to we can connect again and I can walk her through it. So just let us know what you guys feel comfortable with, and we're happy to come alongside you guys. In that email, I'll also include our Docomo pricing and information, so you'll have that there as well. But let me know if there's anything else I can provide, and we can stay in touch.
Great. That sounds great.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I think our med rec would be really interested in learning about this.
I think admissions, MedRec, the assessment office, I think they're all going to want to
They're all gonna want a piece of it.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
When those departments see the videos, it's usually them that's driving the conversation. Like they're emailing us. Have you heard from corporate? When am I getting this? It's like,
Right.
you gotta call them. So yes, and we typically see it when you roll it out in one department, every department ends up like, how do I get it?
Right. No, I like it. I like it.
Oh, good.
And I love the split PDF. When I was looking at some other products out there, like sometimes they offer it, sometimes they don't, but the split PDF is definitely helpful.
Well, I mean, currently we're buying Foxit licenses just so the assessment office can break down, enormous PDF files and merge them as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
if
we did
that's
the same.
automated, that's at least 2 or 3 headaches a week to avoid.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of times, because you no longer have to purchase all these other additional applications, or the customers have returned immediately in the first month, it covers the cost of ScanToPCC.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll look out for your email and the video. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for
Yeah,
taking the
looks
time
like
to
a
meet
great
with
tool,
us.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Drew. Thanks for the feedback. And
You're welcome.
I will email you and love to stay in communication, so reach out with anything.
Sure. Thank you.
All right,
Thank
have
you.
a great
Bye.
day.
All right,
Bye.
bye-bye now.